Welcome everyone to today's Explainer. Seriously, buckle up, because we are jumping right into a super fast-paced breakdown of one of the absolute most intense pieces of storytelling we've seen yet. We're talking about Episode 9, Frozen Secrets. Today, we're going to deconstruct exactly how the creators of this episode masterfully engineer narrative tension layer by layer to create a truly unforgettable experience. Okay, let's dive into this. Prep the Vanguard private jet, we're going to Antarctica. I mean, wow, right? This single line just instantly hooks you. And you might be wondering, why is that so effective? Well, it's because the writers are taking this massive, incredibly personal, emotional goal and slamming it right up against an insurmountable, freezing physical barrier. It sets the tone immediately. There's literally zero hesitation here, just this incredible thrust of forward momentum. Section 1, the shocking discovery. A mother found alive. Now, what's really interesting here is how they handle the inciting incident. Because to create an episode with this much impact, the writers deliver an absolute sledgehammer to our protagonist. Through a glowing holographic screen, Ethan finds out his mother, who, remember, was presumed tragically lost at sea for 5 agonizing years, is actually alive. And not just anywhere. She's trapped in a high-tech facility in literally the coldest, most isolated place on planet Earth. And this specific character direction from the script just perfectly captures the fallout. The boyish innocence completely disappears. We aren't just getting an explosive plot twist, we are witnessing a fundamental instant character shift. The shock of finding his mother alive just instantly strips away any lingering naivety Ethan had. He coldly pivots from this grieving son into a man executing absolute military tactics. You see his eyes harden, the vulnerability just vanishes, and boom, the mission begins. That brings us to Section 2, escalating the stakes, the military blockade. You know, you can't just have a hero decide to go somewhere incredibly dangerous without the universe throwing up immediate roadblocks. To create an incredible episode, you really have to escalate things. So Marcus steps in to warn Ethan that the airspace over Antarctica isn't just cold, it's locked down by an international military blockade. Plan A, the Vanguard private jet, is going to get shot down on sight. So what does Ethan do? He simply moves to Plan B, activate the sub-orbital shuttle. I mean, you just have to appreciate the sheer, glorious absurdity of this universe. Oh, what's that? The private jet won't work? No problem at all. Let's just casually boot up a sub-orbital spacecraft and fly entirely above the atmosphere to bypass the blockade. It perfectly demonstrates the over-the-top, high-stakes reality we are operating in here. Moving right along into Section 3, the Antarctic descent, blinding white storms. Now, as we enter the execution phase of Ethan's extreme solution, the pacing of the narrative completely accelerates. It mimics an action movie's crescendo. Look at this timeline. We start at 0 hours with the emotional discovery. Boom, just 5 minutes later, the tactical decision to use a spacecraft is made. Jump forward 6 hours, and we are already in the physical descent over the ice. In mere seconds after that, the missile lock. This brilliantly illustrates exactly how fast this narrative moves to create episode-defining tension. It shows us how incredibly efficient the story is at ripping the viewer from a grounded emotional anchor straight into a life-or-death climax at absolutely breakneck speed. Let's take a second to look at the atmosphere established during that 6-hour time jump. The scene paints a very vivid, incredibly chilling picture. Ethan is strapped in, wearing this specialized heated winter suit right over his street clothes. He's peering out the window of this highly advanced stealth spacecraft, descending straight into the blinding white storms of Antarctica. The extreme, freezing environment outside directly contrasts with the intense, high-tech reality inside the cockpit. You can practically feel the bitter cold and the immense claustrophobic pressure of that descent. And that takes us to Section 4, the cliffhanger. The screen cuts to static. The tension reaches its absolute maximum peak here when the co-pilot suddenly screams out, "Surface-to-air missiles have locked on," and they are firing. The atmospheric dread of that blinding snowstorm is just instantly shattered by the screaming reality of military ordnance locking onto their stealth ship. 3. The episode doesn't just say they're being shot at, it specifically highlights 3 massive missiles streaking up through the clouds, heading directly for Ethan's shuttle. It's an overwhelming, totally disproportionate show of force. The warning alarms are absolutely screaming in the cabin. The threat is immediate, it's unavoidable, and it is entirely lethal. And then, cut to static. That is exactly how the creators choose to end it. How on earth does Ethan survive the impossible? The absolute brilliance of this static cut cliffhanger is that it gives us literally zero resolution. It completely severs our visual and audio connection to the characters right at the exact millisecond of impact, and it leaves us desperate for answers. It forces you to ask, what happens next in those freezing, hostile skies? It is a true masterclass in suspense. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and definitely keep that question in mind until next time.